ladies and gentlemen, that's right, it's time for the wrestling experience. This week, I am joined by a wrestling enthusiast on Twitch, Mad Dog. Which way is it? There we go. How you going, Mad Dog?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on here, and g'day to everybody. The name's Mad Dog.
You can find him, hopefully, I've got it. It's at maddog_1992. Is that correct on Twitter?
That's it.
Okay, so first off, let's just get right into it. How have you found the wrestling post WrestleMania, post WrestleMania Raw, SmackDown, post Superstar Shakeup, post wild card rounds, post whatever you want, leading into Money in the Bank week?
Okay, so obviously WrestleMania, great show, truly iconic.
You had to do that right off the bat, didn't you?
Had to. Bloody But yeah, post Raw, bit disappointing considering what they've done the previous years and all that. SmackDown sort of just trending along, But like it's obvious, like the ratings, the ratings tell it all. Like not many people tuning in and all that, and all the hype with AEW and that, which I'm sure we'll discuss in that more in detail and all that. The Superstar Shake-Up, which was not only 2 nights only, it ended up being fucking, 2-3 weeks worth. Couple of surprises there, like, obviously going to put more of their main focus on SmackDown that with the Fox deal coming up later in the year.
Yep.
But yeah, like, and then the wild card rule, pal.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask you about that, and I've got to go this way because I've just realised. Yeah, my camera setup. Yeah. You're there. I think I'm used to going like this, and it's actually going. But so the wild card round. What are your thoughts? Oh, the wild card round, the wild card rule. What are your thoughts on that and the blatant use of it just to get the superpowers of like Roman Reigns on Raw every week as well as SmackDown?
It's just for ratings. That's all it is. It's just for ratings. Just so, you have all, the mainstream superstars appear on SmackDown because you'd have your portion of Raw audience who would also watch SmackDown. It's like, oh, Raymond's on SmackDown and Raw. Well, I'll tune in for both. But as I said, it's all about ratings. The ratings are just nothing but down the dumps right now. And yeah, like this is obviously a desperate move. I wouldn't say it's not necessarily the end of the brand split yet.
Yep.
It'd be interesting once, like,
will it last to Survivor Series with the
Fox deal and all that?
Oh no, it's more so Survivor Series being the
battle of the
traditional battle of the two brands. Will they have that? And if not, what will that look like going into Survivor Series without Raw vs. SmackDown? I think that's a very interesting thing to actually think about. That the brand split has to stay because of is it Survivor Series that Survivor Series that has all the
Raw versus SmackDown and that.
Yeah, even though last year it was basically a case of Raw just won everything except a match on the pre-show, which Raw was meant to win as well. It's like, why have the brand split?
Yeah, well, like, you got to think that when they had the big fucking, the Raw Super Show with People Power, Mr. John Laurinaitis, they didn't, really have Raw versus SmackDown matches. They, they had, champion versus champion and that, but then, their big main event was Team Cena versus Team Authority. That's going a bit way back. So,
I don't
think it's really going to be the end of the brand split yet, but, everything's sort of just riding on this Fox deal and all that.
Yeah.
And things like, Rousey wanting to have kids. Like, is she going to be knocked up by the time the Fox deal comes around? Or are they going to, get her on for another run till Mania or something?
I want to get monetized at some point, mate. But, no, I think the biggest thing to come out of WrestleMania, I've mentioned it on the post-WrestleMania show. I want to actually just highlight it just because, my boy Zack Ryder is still the Raw tag team champion with Kurt Hawkins. I just wanted to get that out there. I've been holding off on this joke. I had the Sunnies. I am a huge Zack Ryder mark, so I had to go out and buy the championship. My worry was it wouldn't arrive before Money in the Bank, where I was scared that there would be a tag team title announced for the Raw titles. Raw tag team title for the Raw side, with them losing. So my fear was that this would not arrive in time, but alas, it arrives just with Zack Ryder still being the champion. So I've got that out there. I've got my thing, but I think it might be time to ring the bell and actually start talking about a few matches, eh?
Sounds good to me.
The bell hopefully rang. It was a bit soft, but I'm going to take that as the bell ringing.
Ding ding, bell do.
Yeah. Where do we start with Money in the Bank? Before I get into any of the matches, what does the lead up to Money in the Bank? How does it feel compared to a normal pay-per-view? Like, did you appreciate it, or were you just lost in it?
Look, the way that the main card has been, it's like Vince is under pressure. You can start to tell that they're feeling pressure with this whole AEW lurking around and all that. Like they're trying to throw things, and all that. But look, it's your typical Money in the Bank lead up. They're going to talk about the ladder matches and all that, and there's going to be swerves with participants and all that.
Yep.
It's sort of
So just looking at the card now, we have we've got 3 championships not up for grabs.
We got
all three tag titles. The women's tag titles, the Iconics don't have a match. Ryder and Hawkins don't have a match. And Daniel Bryan and Ryan do have a match on the pre-show, but it's not for the tag titles. So it's very interesting to see what they're going to do with the tag titles moving forward, because I know that's been such a it's been such a big part of wrestling, and it's just sad to see that these titles are now thought or basically an afterthought.
Well, you got to think of it this way. I think this is why it's sort of another thing with the whole wildcard rule. Like, you look at the 2 tag divisions right now. Like, who's got the more tag divisions? I'm pretty sure it's Raw's got the more.
I'd say it's Raw, because the Usos are going to SmackDown, but the Usos are a Raw tag team. You've got the Revival. You've got
your boys.
Of course. You've got the Viking Raiders. Are they the Viking Raiders now? The former Viking Experience. There we go. We dropped it at least once, and I'm just going to have to quickly change, because I've seen that. This is going to go up and down throughout the thing. So there we go. So with who else there's Otis on SmackDown?
Yeah, there's Heavy Machinery.
Machinery, that's it. But I think there's been a lot of injuries. You can kind of include the New Day to a point, but there have been a lot of injuries in it. So it's you've got the Bar. I think Sheamus is injured at the moment. Yeah,
well, the rumors going around Sheamus could be retiring sometime soon. So
yeah. Oh, I must admit, I haven't heard that. I've been flat out with work and stuff like that I haven't actually been able to get on the gossip. But talking about tag teams and the WrestleMania, one of the tag team participants in the women's tag title match has not been seen on TV since WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on Sasha Banks?
The boss, or the crybaby boss, whatever you want to call it.
I'm not going to say, I don't want to get heat from her. If you want to direct heat, Sasha Banks fans, the Twitter is right there, at MadDoll1992. Do not direct it to this one. Go to that one.
Iconics!
Yeah, so
Peyton Royce's Bay. But look, I think she's just gonna be sitting out. Like they were trying to, negotiate a push that for Money in the Bank, from what I understood at the time. But I think she's going to do a Luke Harper, and at the moment they're just sitting out their contracts.
yeah, Luke Harper's another one we're sitting out. But I did say it, and we've gone off on a small tangent, but I've got to bring it back because let's try and keep this within an hour and a half. I think the last two were 2 hours. So, Money in the Bank. And yes, there's a few things that are to be discussed from WrestleMania to now, but I'll discuss it afterwards because let's just get through Money in the Bank. The biggest story in Money in the Bank, I think, is Becky 2 belts having 2 matches.
Yep.
Defending both the Raw and the SmackDown titles. The Raw tag team matches against Lacey Evans, and the SmackDown is against Charlotte Flair. So I'll just start off with your predictions for this. Do you see it going any other way but Becky retaining one or both?
Look, I think, Becky's still got so much support. She's going to retain both belts. Lacey Evans is love Lacey Evans, but yeah, she's not ready. She's not ready for a title run yet. Charlotte Flair, look, I think it'll be a screwy finish. There's going to be at least one screwy finish between one of those matches. I think maybe Charlotte might interfere in the Lacey Evans one.
Do you think it could be a fact of it's a screwy finish in both? Lacey Evans interferes in the... No, I'll say that the Raw match will go on first. Whichever match is on first, it's irrelevant. But whoever's on first, say it's the Raw title. So Charlotte Flair interferes in the Lacey Evans match, and then Lacey Evans interferes in the SmackDown match. So then basically they screw each other over, leading into a kind of storyline battle between Lacey and Charlotte.
The other thing you got to consider is where they place on the match card too, because if the Women's Money in the Bank goes first, then the winner's going to be lurking around. That's the story they'll play throughout both matches. Like, Miss Money in the Bank's lurking around somewhere.
That is a good point, and I keep forgetting, like, the Money in the Bank matches should be on the card early, so then you've got that thread of they could cash in on the night, like Kane. I think Kane did on Ray.
Yeah, and Alexa Bliss did it on Rousey and Nia Jax last year.
Yeah. So if we go through it, so you've said Becky Lynch is retaining both belts. I think the same. So let's go straight into the Money in the Bank women's match. And who do you have and why?
All right, so look, I think so. We got Ember Moon, we got Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Little Miss Bliss, Bayley, Natalya, Naomi, and bloody Carmella.
Mella is money. She's the first ever Miss Money in the Bank. We do not talk about how she won it because that person
he shall not be named.
That person has since been
He shall not be named.
He with no chin. So yes.
Well, okay, so look, Ember Moon I don't think's got enough heat behind her. Dana Brooks just Dana Brooke. Natalya's, she's just there to fill the spot in.
But could Natalya, like, you're saying she's just there to fill the spot in, but before you answer who you've got, because you're going through it, how many of them can you legitimately actually see winning the belt? Or winning the contract, the suitcase, whatever?
I could see 3, maybe 4.
So who would they be? Like, just going through it, I've got to do the same.
Mandy, Bliss, Bayley, and Mella. You
didn't name Mandy, Bliss, Bayley, Mella. So I've got my 4 in that would be Naomi, Alexa, Bailey, and Natalia. I feel like all of them could win it, and it's a legitimate one where I'm going with both Money in the Bank matches that I can't actually pick a distinct winner because of they haven't had the storyline of anybody to actually warrant me going, that person is definitely going to win it. Like Alexa, I'm going with Naomi. I've just on the spot. I'm just going to go with Naomi. Otherwise, I'm going to be here talking about why each one will win it. And yeah. So like, who do you think's going to win?
I'm going for Little Miss Bliss.
You want Buddy Murphy's ex? Okay. I see. No, that's all right.
Just sleeping.
No, I see. Like you don't think like no, that's cool.
But you gotta also think too, like, you know, Bliss is coming is sort of playing heel at the moment. I can't really see Bailey going, cashing on the same night as a heel thing. At least with, either Carmella,
Mandy, they've got the heel factor,
Bliss,
yeah. Yeah.
So that's where my sort of thing is. But yeah, I think Alexa Bliss, because, she's back and,
Yeah. Well, moving right forward, we'll leave the men's Money in the Bank for a bit later. But I think the two matches that are linked, I'll actually enter into next. Roman Reigns versus Elias and The Miz versus Shane. Which match do you want to start on?
We'll just go, hello, I am Elias. Look, I think Roman's going to win this. They want to start, building him up and that, like...
Yep.
It'll be his second pay-per-view, it's be second or third pay-per-view match since coming back from his battle.
So,
yeah. And I can't really see, unless, Shane... The only way I can see Elias winning is if there are matches before the Shane and Miz one, where, you got Bobby Lashley and Shane McMahon will come in and help Elias. But that's the only way I was going to say,
Bobby Lashley, I feel, is going to interfere in one of these two matches, and that's why I actually brought them up together. It was, I see Roman winning, and I see The Miz winning.
Yeah, I see The Miz winning.
Unless Lashley interferes, and then Shane O'Mac takes the win. But they've built this up since the Crown Jewel.
Yep.
The WrestleMania match between the two of them was a really good one. Had a really good finish. It had me on the edge of the seat going, either person here could win. And entering into this match, either person can win. But I think unless they're going for the shock value with Lashley interfering in the Roman Reigns match, or beforehand Roman Reigns still entering into it, I can Roman and The Miz for me in these two matches. What about you?
Yeah.
Are you the same?
Yeah, I'm the same. They want to start building Roman back up, and, if Shane wins, then what's the point of having the rubber match,
Yeah.
Will we see a Miz Dad appearance, though? Because apparently he got legitimately injured from Mania.
Gosh, the memes on that. I think we're going to move right along, otherwise we're going to be talking about it even further.
Miz Dad for an hour.
So I just noticed that, so the Intercontinental title is not on the line as well. I did mention about the 3 tag titles. I've just noticed that. The next one is Tony Nese versus Aria Daviri?
Ari Davari or whatever.
Ari Davari. I'm bad with pronouncing names to begin with. For the Cruiserweight Championship. Now,
Tony Nese is going to retain. There's no point of playing hobtail with the title.
I think the Cruiserweight Championships have been good with their reigns. They've had it for at least 2 to 3 months. And they've had a good build-up of the champions. But he shouldn't have lost at Mania, but let's leave that there. Tony Nese.
It was Alexa Bliss's fault.
No comment. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. And I'm interested in this story.
With the whole Dominic.
Yeah. The whole WrestleMania match as well. I don't think Rey was 100%. I think he's a lot better now. So I think it's going to be a bit more of a match. Can you tell who I'm going to pick?
Look, well, I'm picking Joe. Joe needs to, I think this is Joe's year. It's either that or he's going to be, yeah, I see the shirts. But yeah, no, I put my prediction
as that. It's a mask as well. There's a mask there as well.
No, it looks like 2 shirts, but that's okay. But yeah, I think Joe will hold the title till SummerSlam and then get him to move on to bigger and better things by then.
Could, well, while I hold this, I just thought of the question, will we see an unmasking at some point in Rey's later years? Or will he keep that mask? Like, I asked that question. I asked that question.
You didn't hear that, did you?
I did. I asked the question because of it happening in the WCW days, but I personally can't see it happening in WWE.
Well, you got to remember, he's already been unmasked once in WWE thanks to Chris Jericho.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been unmasked a couple of times if you think about it, but it hasn't been in a match stipulation. So, could Joe potentially, if Joe wins this, does Rey go for another match and then Joe lead to the stipulation of if you lose this match, you're gonna have to take that mask off, or does Mysterio win and then there's something with Dominic? Like, is Dominic? I think the big question here is I'm asking, irrespective of the results, sorry, can you see Dominic being involved in the next storyline Rey is involved with?
Well, from what I heard, I think there was a backstage thing on Raw with Cesaro and Rey.
He's been training as a wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Cesaro was throwing some shade on. You
don't bring your
Dominic's.
It's not bring your child to work.
Yeah. Yeah, things like that. But yeah, look, I don't know. Like with Joe, Joe's storylines. I mean, look at the Wendy. Like that really sort of didn't lead.
Yeah.
Nowhere. So I don't know. I personally don't think it's going to happen outside this Joe storyline.
You don't see Dominic actually getting in the ring at some point, or becoming like.
If he actually wants to, become a superstar, then yeah, I'd say go for continue, to fit the family line and all that. I'd say go for it. But yeah, I think outside of this storyline, I don't think we'll see Dominic really involved much in the storyline until sort of he wants to debut or something. It's gonna be something really big for the family to get involved.
Yep. Where are we up to? I think we haven't discussed the pre-show match. So let's do that now. This has been an afterthought match, so it's kind of been an afterthought in discussing. But Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus the Usos in a vanilla tag team match, not for the titles.
Subject to change.
My interest in this match is literally the way I'm describing it. There's no interest. It seems out of the blue. It seems just... Yeah, they had this match 2 weeks ago on SmackDown for the titles that were vacated by the Hardy Boys. Daniel Bryan and Rowan winning.
Yeah.
The Usos should have been against the Revival in this.
Yeah, I can't really. It's more or less a front. We need to put something on the. We need to put something on the kickoff show. Put the Usos on there. They used to be on the kickoff show.
The Usos versus Ryan and Hawkins makes more sense than this. Heavy Machinery versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan make more sense than this. There's just no sense in this, especially now that the Usos are on Raw and Daniel Bryan and Rowan are on SmackDown. You give them against the SmackDown tag team. Legitimize the tag team divisions on both shows. You don't, like... It's one thing, like, yes, I say I'm huge Zack Ryder, and it's actually kind of... Hold on. I'm just going to do one thing for a second. Just so people can actually see the shirt that I'm wearing. It's just...
Big broski.
There we go. Yeah. But broski is dead. But I want... the Still Here shirt. I so want... And somebody tagged me in a tweet with the link to a bootleg version of it today, and Zack Ryder commented saying, "Take this down." So, just wanted to say that I did not buy the shirt. I will not buy a shirt that is not from WWEshop.com because it is not official. But back to Money in the Bank. Sorry, tangent there, but I think this is one thing that fans are getting extremely frustrated with when you've got champions, you've got... okay, the tag team division isn't good at the moment, but chuck some mid-carders, chuck some people that aren't being used, and make them legitimate tag teams. Like, they did that with Ryder and Hawkins because of, yes, they've been a tag team in the past, but they actually made it a legitimate tag team and made it a legitimate threat against the Revival at Mania. They need to do this more and more with every other tag team.
It's panic booking. That's all it is. That's the easiest way to describe this kickoff match. Is panic booking. We need something to get people in to watch the kickoff show and then hang around for the main card.
But I'll go back to it. You want to actually legitimize a tag team division, and you're basically going, "Oh, we're just going to get the tag teams from SmackDown, and let's get a tag team from Raw." But it's not going to be a tag team title match. Nobody's going to care about this match. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a throwaway match. It's going to be... I'd say it's going to be a Brian Rowan victory. Yeah, I honestly... I couldn't give two...
I think my yawn there just basically gave how much I actually care about this match.
Yeah.
Let's just move on. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
This one I find very hard to pick a winner from.
This is it. Like I discussed it in terms of the earlier one being a hard one to pick. This one's even more so. Like, you look at who is competing in it. You've got Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade, and Randy Orton. Any one of them can win it for me.
Yeah.
I'm going... Like, Sami Zayn replaced
Braun Strowman
from Raw with the help of Drew McIntyre. Was it Drew McIntyre? And
Baron Corbin's big card of evil.
Yeah, and Baron Corbin then at the end chucked Sami Zayn back on stage and Braun Strowman put him through the table. Yeah. We've got... who was it? Ricochet is against Robert Roode for his spot. Ricochet won. I've got Drew McIntyre winning.
Yeah, look, I can't see Finn 2 belts. As much as that would be good. Randy Orton, he's just more like the experienced one in there.
Yep.
Look, as for the rest of it, like, Baron Corbin lost once. I can't see him really winning again. And from what I've heard, the Money in the Bank winners are going to be protected. So, look, Drew was supposed to get a big push, but Brock Lesnar hung around, so Drew got pushed to the side.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I think, like, Drew's... Like, I just got to bring this up. You look at Drew McIntyre back in the day when he first started, when he was the chosen one. And then when he was 3MB member to now, he's absolutely different. He's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Like, you've got chalk and cheese between the two ones. So,
Look, I've put down Drew McIntyre just because, they will need to push someone, big for Seth Rollins, say SummerSlam
yeah.
and all that. Andrade, I think, is the dark horse in this.
Oh, definitely. He's so, like, as I
Ali.
said, there's 8 people that can win it. You look at Ali. He was meant to have Kofi's, not WrestleMania spot, but the, what was it?
The Fast Lane?
Fast Lane, that's it. Fast Lane spot. And then Kevin Owens was meant to have Mania. That changed.
Yep.
You've got Sami Zayn, who's just come back and is doing a really good heat drawing gimmick at the moment. You've got Ricochet, who is one of the best aerial things. I'm really looking forward to actually seeing some aerial assault.
That's all Ricochet's going to be really
Yeah.
be there for. It's just
He's the highlight
flip-de-doos.
spots,
Yeah.
yeah. Baron Corbin, so he's got something on some creative back. He's got photos of somebody in a compromising position. I mean, he ruined my WrestleMania moment with should have been John Cena having that match against Kurt Angle.
Yeah. 100% agree on that.
Ali, already mentioned. Finn Balor. He's a legitimate person. Like, there's no, well, what's he doing with the Universal belt, or what's he doing with the WWE title? Like, he's a legitimate person to actually win it. Then Andrade, Randy Orton, yeah, they can all win it. So you're right there?
Yeah, I just had to put the headset on, trying like battery low, like hell. Yeah.
So I just noticed you had it. I'm like, how long have you been doing that with it now? But going forward, so who did you have?
Drew McIntyre.
So you've gone with Drew as well. Okay. So now that leads us to the two big titles in the WWE Championship: Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens.
Kofi retention.
Kofi retention. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that as well. I can see them just giving Kofi a little run with it. They need more than a month.
Give him the run to SummerSlam.
Yeah, maybe. I've got to think of how far SummerSlam is away. The years just go meld into one. So I think we're pretty even on that.
I think Sami Zayn will interfere in the match in some description. That's my bonus.
And Xavier Woods will come in as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've actually enjoyed Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens more as a heel than as a face. And the way that he did with the New Day kind of gimmick was good. I just want to bring that out. That's
he was sort of like channeling the Festival of Friendship sort of vibe. That was the first thing I was like, oh, it's a
he's
less
heel.
Yeah.
Yep. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. This one is like, I think Seth retains, and then I think they could pull a swerve and have this as a hot potato between the two of them for a few. Or they have Seth Rollins win and Drew McIntyre interferes. Ding, ding, ding. Becomes champion with the Money in the Bank. But, what are your thoughts?
I've got Seth retaining. I would be surprised if Drew wins Money in the Bank, then Drew will try and cash in. I can see that's going to happen clear as day, but I'd say AJ's going to prevent that.
But go on.
Yeah, look, AJ, like, I don't think he's, says I just won the title, They finally got their hands off fucking Brock Lesnar.
They've got to give it to Seth for a bit. So I think we've discussed all those matches. So the last question for Money in the Bank is: will we see a retention? Will we see a cash in either at the Money in the Bank show itself, or the Monday, the Raw or SmackDown afterwards.
There'll be there should be at least a cash-in attempt on the pay-per-view.
If the order of the matches are right, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches should be on earlier than the title matches, or at least one of the title matches for the women. You've got 4 matches to choose from with the Raw. I think one of the one of the women's championships will be on first to give Becky Lynch that time to recover. Or illusion of,
if I had to choose, it'd be the Raw one on first.
Yeah. Or whichever one it is, and then you've got the attempt in the second one potentially, or you've got just the cash-in attempt for the men's then. But that's all from, and let's just ring the bell on the Money in the Bank. That's not it though. There's been some more wrestling news that I just want to discuss. I think we could actually discuss AEW all night. We could have a separate wrestling experience for AEW, but I think let's just quickly brief overview. There's been a big rumor, and there's been the vignette of Dean Ambrose. Sorry, not Dean Ambrose, Moxley.
Gotta get it right, John Moxley.
John Moxley. And all reports or all rumors are that he's going to AEW. So, first off, before I ask, what are your thoughts on AEW? Because I think it's this Saturday or next Saturday?
Double or Nothing.
I could be totally wrong. It could be somewhere else, but it's
Let me just check here. May 25th.
So it's not this week, it's the following week.
Yeah, it's the following.
But do we see Moxley appear at Double or Nothing?
Is there a no compete clause or anything in the contract?
I think his contract was terminated.
Because we know he did resign, but would there be a clause, there
could be. There could be. I don't know. He could show up. He's not competing. He could just show up.
Yeah. Look, I think if he still wants to continue wrestling, then definitely go for AEW.
Yeah.
But then there was, rumors and an interview going around. It's like, I just want to do one more hardcore death match in CZW, whatever the promotion was called, and then that's it. Wrestling done.
I think all the hype is for AEW because he'll be better suited. He'll be having better creative there.
Yeah, more creative.
And his gimmick will give him more freedom. I think whatever he does, I'll be supportive of him. I've been a Shield fan since day one. I've loved Dean Ambrose. I've loved Roman Reigns. I've loved Seth Rollins. But John Moxley with that beautiful vignette, that
was great.
You're just out of focus. There we go. You're back in focus. It was a brilliant thing. But let's go back to AEW. What are your thoughts on this? And I mean, talk about Double or Nothing really. With I'm just going over the card right now to see how many former WWE names I can see. So you've got Pac, who was Neville.
Yep.
Chris Jericho. You got Custy and Dustin Rhodes. Goldust. You've got Billy Gunn.
Yep.
You've got, that could be about it. I can't see Trent Beretta as well.
Jeez, that's a name I haven't heard for a long time.
Trent Beretta. Where's Trent? But I mean, in terms of wrestling, it's a really strong card, and it's really something that I think this is what Impact Wrestling, TNA, whatever you want to call it, was lacking, is the star power, but not just star power, but you've also got independent people that Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. Back in the day, TNA had this with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode. Look where they are all now. Just those 3 names. And you had Kurt Angle, you had Sting, you had all these great names.
You had Ric Flair.
Yeah. You had the Dudleys there. not Team 3D, sorry. You couldn't call them the Dudleys there. But like you look over the card, like one name that stands out for me in AEW Double or Nothing is Jimmy Havoc. And if you haven't heard the name, he is an amazing hardcore wrestler. I was able to actually witness him live once at the St Kilda Festival with MCW, a local brand in Melbourne, Australia.
Yep.
And he was meant to be performing at MCW the week after St Kilda Fest. The problem was this St Kilda Fest was the one where he broke his leg.
Ooh.
I didn't see the breaking of the leg, but he broke his leg. He did something to his leg because of the way that he landed on the concrete. And this was, no, not concrete, asphalt.
Mm.
So this is a wrestling outside in a car park. Think of Macca's car park, think whatever car park, it was that type of thing. So not really meant for wrestlers or to land on.
Yeah.
And he just landed awkwardly. And yeah, the match was stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's one name from the independents. But you've got, I mean, I'm a Gold Dust mark as well. I have his book somewhere. But like for me, Cody versus Dustin Rhodes is perfect. I think whatever gimmick Dustin rocks up in is great. Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho.
AEW is nothing without Chris Jericho.
Yeah, you see, I'm not even going to. I'm not here predicting winners for these matches. I'm just here going how good these matches are because for a startup brand, it's not about winners. It's not about losers. It's about these matches being memorable. Yeah, it's like you've got all these matches that are just so good. You've got, I'm just like. How can you not look at a card like this and go like, oh, I'm not going to watch any of it? Like, if you're a wrestling fan, you're going to watch some of it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of salivating now. I'm sorry, but wrestling fan in me just going, I can see like these matches now. Like, I don't know which match will be my favorite, but I'm definitely going to watch it because it's like you got Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian.
You've got a lot of like well-known names. If you're a real wrestling fan, you'll know a lot of these names.
And a lot of good independent wrestlers are going to AEW because it's like, okay. But I think just for the name power of the independent wrestlers going there, it just shows that this is going to be real competition and competition like we saw WCW versus WWE, and it could lead to another. I mean, this is very, very reminiscent of WWE, WCW, and ECW with modern versions of it still being WWE, as in, okay, you've got TNA, Impact Wrestling would be the ECW of the lot now, and you've got AEW as the WCW. The AEW being the billionaire funded company that is a legitimate threat. But I mean, I use the word threat, it's competition, it's just something that adds to the pool of wrestling that you can actually go, I think this could actually make WWE
step up their game.
No, not just, basically is putting it in better terms, but you've just done it for me, is setting the wrestling scene up. And then you see, if you've only got the one thing, then that's all you're going to see. Like, you've got no competition. But if you have competition, you're going to see them going like this. And it's like, you've seen it in Australia. Like, I'll just bring Australian professional wrestling into it. I discussed in the previous wrestling experience with Ghost in the Machine about the local scene. And that's something I've noticed is the local scene in Australia is getting better and better. You're seeing more startups and you're seeing more companies and you're actually hearing about them like in Melbourne, is getting some mainstream attention because of somebody from Channel 9, Triple M. I'm trying to think of his name right now. It's going to come to me in a second.
I haven't heard about this, about Channel 9.
Seb Costello, that's it. Seb Costello is actually doing stuff in MCW. Like, this is the state of professional wrestling, not in Australia, but it's like all around the world. You're getting it to a point where it could actually overtake the high point of the 90s. I think when it was really popular in America, I think you can actually, with AEW, make wrestling great again. In actually going, we need to actually see this competition and be thankful for it. I knew when TNA, I got into TNA for a bit, but it just didn't get my attention. And I think a lot of people tried to watch TNA because they were hoping it was going to be like the next WWE versus WCW thing. Because of, I think you look back and you're like, that's when wrestling has been at its greatest, is when WWE has had a legitimate competition to actually have to step up its game for the ratings.
Yeah.
And they get complacent, and then the fans just go,
that's nice.
Randy Orton versus John Cena. Randy Orton versus John Cena. Oh. What? Another Randy Orton versus John Cena match? Okay. Oh. Like, you look, it's happened in the past. Oh, Brock Lesnar. Like, I think, like, the whole Brock Lesnar thing just, I turned off pay-per-views because, oh my God, it's a Brock Lesnar match. Okay. Like, well, for one, if Brock Lesnar was actually on the pay-per-view to begin with.
That's a whole...
Shots fired.
Another rant.
Shots fired. Shots fired. But, yeah, so I think AEW, have you, like, I think I've just rambled on it there about Australian local wrestling, but also the independents. Have you got anything to add?
Locals.
Before? Yeah, like, have you got anything to add about AEW?
Nah, look, I'm looking forward to Double or Nothing. I think, Vince and Co are going to be paying very close eye.
Yep.
Because I don't know if they're going to be announcing their TV deal at Double or Nothing, or I think there's a media call, something sort of coming up soon for it. So, like, once that, like, TV deal's announced, like, if they announce around the same time that Fox deal with SmackDown happens, like, it's going to be, like, just panic. Right? We got to just start building. But yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. I watched the Road to Double Nothing video with Jericho and Cody Rhodes. That was just brilliant. Yep. Jericho just, just feels like he owns the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it.
I think I'm going to enjoy Jericho in AEW because he's going to be given the creative freedom to kind of do the storyline, do the story that he wants. And it's like Dustin Rhodes. I think Dustin Rhodes is going to be a big star in AEW, and I hope I'm right. Touch wood, I'm right, because he never got that opportunity in WWE. I think, along with Cody, there's going to have to be more than just the one match of, unless it's like a retirement match for Dustin, and then Dustin takes up an authority role. Like, there's so many roles he can do, and I'd be fully okay with that, to be honest. Like, I can just see this going few ways, and I'm happy with whatever way it goes with that. But any other thoughts before we move on from AEW?
Nah, as I said, like, definitely looking forward to Double or Nothing. The wrestling world will just have their eyes set on Double or Nothing, because then that will sort of give maybe a little bit of indication of, how good is the threat for WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I think that's actually a perfect way to end it on, with the notion of how big is the threat with AEW. Now, I'm just kind of tossing up which one to actually go next. Let's go with the announcement that was made, I think, last because it was made in the last 24 hours, is WWE Super Showdown. Wait, sorry. WWE Super Showdown.
In the progressive city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
So, yeah. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Undertaker, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston, and AJ Styles on the poster there. But I'm just going to do this for a bit, right? All that's left, all that was taken out was a hyphen. What are your thoughts on the name?
Super Showdown. Look, as you and I discussed, a little bit earlier on, if they're going to make it, international, Super Showdown international thing, because last year we had it in Melbourne.
The MCG.
Yeah, that was great. My first, live wrestling event, and it was great.
I think there's a few issues with that, but let's not go into that now. The fact that the sheer size of it, and I'm hoping that they do it again in every few years, but it's I'd prefer a SmackDown or Raw taping in Melbourne, but that's not the point of this, and I can discuss that on a whole different episode. But this is more about the name. Why is this needed? They could have gone with Sands of Time.
I heard that was the rumor that I heard too, was Sands of Time. But look, at the end of the day, they're going to say yes because it's all about the money. The Prince of Saudi Arabia is paying top dollars, so.
But have you got any interest in this show?
Not really. As much as I love Taker, look, he's only there for the money now. I don't really think he's there for the full, wrestling side of it. It's just about money now. So, Goldberg's always going to be Goldberg's. Who's next? And Spear and Jackhammer.
Yep.
I don't know. We haven't really got much of a match card for it yet.
I know Triple H versus Randy Orton and a 50-man battle royale.
Yeah, nothing really.
Your reaction there is
it's just a mess sort of thing. It's just so they can get the money, move on. Because we know what's going to happen. There's going to be leading up to Super Showdown. It's just going to be just building up that. Nothing really progressive.
So those are the only three matches. It's a 50-man battle royale. Why? Why? You could have a WWE Super Showdown type of card, but a 50-man battle royal.
Panic booking. Booking and money.
That's I really don't know what more to add to that. The Super Showdown. Okay, but I think the last thing that we're going to talk about is probably my favorite thing for the past few weeks. There's been so much interest in this. Is the Firefly Funhouse. Yowie wowie.
Yowie wowie.
So let's just go back to the first episode of Firefly Funhouse. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, I thought it was great. I've loved the whole thing, from, the painting of the fire, as, a throwback to the Orton Wyatt burning
There were four episodes?
Yeah, 4, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it's the chainsaw, the painting, the rabbit, and then the last one. I love the chainsaw. I love that, the glitchiness when he did that the first time.
The hurt and heel and the...
Yes.
Yeah.
As there's that glitch, I'm oh, okay, so this is going to be something cool. and then it's just like the second one with the the third one, the second one with the painting. Yep. The third one with the rabbit, and then the
Rambling
picnic.
rabbit.
The picnic, and all the kids were just like
possessed, like yeah.
yeah.
100% agree. And like from what I heard, like backstage, and that was that they're all like, this is full Bray creative control with this.
Yeah, like I think Bray needs creative control, and he also needs the right booking. Now this is absolutely perfect writing for Bray. The last vignette this week, it had this evilness to it. It started off, yeah, nice, but it was just like I also,
Dark secret.
But before I go into it, he posted stuff on Twitter during last week's Raw.
Yeah, the secret message tweets.
Yeah,
like you go back and look at my promos.
and yeah, for like 7 times, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely brilliant. Like, and you go back and it's like this created so much more interest in this character to a point where everybody had to tune in to see what it was. And then when he posted it, it's like, oh wow, like this is gonna be something awesome. And I wasn't let down. Some people might have been, but like the mask that he was wearing, the evil clown. I don't know. I'm just gonna try and get it to bring it up. Through the magic of. So Bray Wyatt, like, yeah, look, there we go. Like, it's just perfect, and I think this is the like, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna get it to replace that. So while we're doing this, I know I should have been prepared with this. I just thought about literally just then. There we go. Like,
Yeah, I'm just looking at an article about the mask now, the secret origins behind it.
Yeah, but it's like, it's perfect. Like, you've got this craziness to it. You've got, like, you can see in the background, it's still like the Firefly Funhouse, but it's got this evilness to it. And it fits Bray's character perfectly. Yeah. And it's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I think it was reciting. Yeah. And then he goes, Yowie, wowie, in this creepy voice. It was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, this is what I wanted from Bray right from the start, like with the Eat of Worlds gimmick. It's like, give me this. Give me what his promos promised. Like, if he can back it up in the ring, or even, like, he doesn't have that many matches, but when he is used, he's used like The Undertaker at WrestleMania when he went undefeated, and he would only have like 4 matches a year. Use him like that. Build him up to be this like psychopath. And then he will actually be of value when, like, okay, yes, you've got limited time, but it's like on TV, he doesn't lose. At pay-per-views, he doesn't lose. He doesn't need to be in the big title matches for that. He can be in 1 or 2 title matches, but it's like, okay, you make it so the finish keeps him strong. I think that's the problem with a lot of people's opinion of Bray and a lot of people's booking of not just Ray, but a lot of other wrestlers. But
yeah.
Any other thoughts on Bray Wyatt though?
No, I love it. I love Firefly Funhouse. Just, you know, just if they don't fuck it up, it will be a good start, you know, to start just building them back up.
Yeah.
Because, like, from what I heard, like, you know, they always try to put the Firefly Funhouse on the second hour, and that's when they'll get, like, their most views. Because everyone wants to tune in and find out, okay, what's going to happen on the Firefly Funhouse this week?
Definitely. I think it's like they put it on the 3rd hour this week, I think, because it's like everybody wanted to watch it. So it's like, you've got to put it before the main event for it to actually be like, everybody tune in.
Yeah.
But
the only other thing I'm a little bit worried about is if the only way they can really stuff this up is they start doing it like turning it, the fashion police files. That's my only concern. They'll eventually start going down that route where then it'll become like a WWE exclusive, and then it'll just get dropped.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
I mean, they can stuff it up.
I've got no problem with the WWE exclusives, but I do have a problem with what you just said of like this turning into it. So like I just want to explain that position with the WWE exclusives. I think in the lead up to WrestleMania, that's where Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins basically, I could see the progression from them coming together as a team and then slowly working the way towards this title match at Mania. I could see that. Not a lot of people could, but it's a good way to add to a storyline, not create a storyline. And I think that's what's got to be utilized in going forward is you don't use it to create a new storyline when half the audience don't know what's going on. You do it to enhance the storyline. So even if you don't see it, you go, oh, yeah, this thing was set up on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. There was nothing on TV last week, but it was already set up.
Yeah, no. Well, like, another example, like, look at the Iconics, and, like, their backstage, like that's gold.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I can definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I don't think there's, unless you've got something else to talk about. Plug some of your stuff, plug TCW, plug your Twitch channel.
Yeah, so guys, I stream WWE 2K19 Universe mode. I'm currently doing the Fatal 4-Way draft, so Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT versus my own brand of TCW, so Twitch Championship Wrestling. Yeah, so it's going to be split into 3 parts of the draft. I've done part 2 earlier on this evening, so we got part 3, and then once that's done, we'll then kick into season 2 of Universe mode, where it will be a lot more interactive, and yeah.
So I just want to ask a question on that. So you've got Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and TCW all as shows, and that's your streams. You have one a night or one. How many times do you stream, and what do you do?
So the plan is, like, for season 2, like, I'll probably dedicate. Sort of depends on how long the shows really go for. If I can get the show, like, one show for, like, a couple of hours, one show per stream. But if not, then I'll just fit, 2 per stream and all that. But like, everything just really depends with, like, work and that. That's more or less my main obstacle in that.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's obstacles. Unless you can go full time into it, then But it's like good to see, and I think with 2K20 coming out, there's going to be a lot. Like, I'm definitely going to get into streaming a lot more of the 2K WWE side of it. I am actually holding off to then, so then I can actually do it. But
yeah, I think what a lot of, like, wrestling streamers are going to do, they're going to sort of keep streaming 2K19 up until about, like, the month of the launch, and then it'll just go quiet while everyone's sort of, planning, okay, well, what do we know with 2K20 and all that, and then, how we're going to do it. Like, that's, I'll probably do it, like, 2 weeks before the game's out. I'll probably stop the Universe mode, take a hiatus, and start planning and all that. Question for you. Cover star. Do you think it's going to be Becky Lynch?
I think so. I think they've done, from what I've read, from what I've heard, and from what I think, it just is the suitable time for it. It's the best timing for it. So I definitely think it'll be Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I heard rumors that they were going to do, like, a Women's Revolution showcase mode.
Yeah, I'm leaving it out. I'm not getting my hopes up for anything. It's whatever happens with that happens. But all I can say with 2K20 is I've got some stuff planned. Just I think to try and get whoever's interested involved in other streamers involved with it. Yes, I'm going to kind of. This is a world first. This is breaking news. This is a exclusive here right at the end of the show. if you've stuck around watching, thank you. You get to hear it. But it's kind of like I was going to do it with 2K19, but then I thought, nah, stuff it. Let's actually get it involved in 2K20, so when it launches, I can see how to do it. But it's not going to be a universe mode. It's not going to be anything like you're doing because I think I just couldn't do that. I don't have the time, the patience, and like you've got an incredible product there. Hashtag hire Saban. So for people that don't understand, I've just got to go off on a tangent. Zach Saban is somebody that I'm trying to get him to hire. That way. I don't think he knows what he looks like, but yeah, somebody that I created in my universe mode. His name is Zach Saban, named after Zack Ryder and Chris Saban. And then I realized there's Zack Saber Jr. So I just had to bring that up. But back to my 2K20 idea. It's just getting some streamers, some content creators who are basically like who are affiliate level or like lower end. Like I'm not going to reach for the partners because of I don't want that kind of but it's like some people that want to just work together, but it's like let's compete against for something. So there's that in the works there, but I don't know what to do with the WWE game apart from either what you're doing and fully dedicate that time or have a set of few content creators because the other content I'm creating at the moment is MTG and trailer reactions. So if you're watching this on my YouTube, you will see some other trailer reactions, but MTG is another big thing I do. Is there anything else that you do before we finish?
Well, other than, so I can play a variant of games, like, I've done Yu-Gi-Oh!, like Legacy of the Duelist, like that was like very early streaming. I do Pokemon Nuzlocke, every now and then. Yes, I see him.
Yeah, I just realized Pokemon is another thing I'm looking at getting into with Sword and Shield. Yes. Okay. You brought this up, and yes, it's going to be an interrogation now, but you are a monster. I don't know how anybody can play Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Look, the only reason why I'm doing because, like, I randomized just because
I couldn't give up any of. I couldn't do that.
I've played the main games, like like the story. I know that's why I've randomized it. So it's like, okay, what could happen. Then I've also been diving into fan made games. So Insurgents, like I did a Nuzlocke run of that, and I got to the 7th gym and they just got totally obliterated.
Yeah. So for those that don't understand what I'm actually talking about with Nuzlocke, because I realized I just brought that up. They might not know what I'm talking about. Somebody who comes across this video who's made it this far, listening to me talk and listening to you talk, listening to the both of us ramble on. What is Nuzlocke?
So Nuzlocke is like sort of like a variant on the game. So like there's like a few like hardcore rules like you have to follow. So every Pokemon that you catch, you have to nickname to build a bond with them. If they faint, they die, they're gone. They can't be revived or nothing. You can only catch one Pokemon per route. There's other variants like, there's things like randomize, like you can randomize everything. You can do like egg locks. There's so many variants and all that. Like a favorite I like to do with one of my mates, Crisis, is a sleep block where we'll just do the whole story mode in just one sitting and race to, a certain spot. So last one we did was Pokemon Platinum, where we did, from start all the way up to defeat the champion. And that was about an 18-hour race, that one. And that one was very, very, very
close.
In
one sitting?
In one sitting, yep.
Oh, I don't think I'd be able to do that. But, like, I just want to, go back to me calling you a monster. The only Nuzlocke that I actually have ever heard about until you just explaining it was basically you catch a Pokemon, as soon as it faints, it dies.
Yeah, so very basic
And
Nuzlocke.
I'm just like, I could not do that. I create a bond with my Pokemon that it's like, I will nickname them. I'll be like, oh my gosh, like, you're so awesome. Like, okay. I'm like, yeah, like, I've got the Pokemon Switch. I've got all these Pokemon. Yeah, I've got to go to Event Cinemas to get that because I only got the I didn't get it with the hat. I need the hat.
Oh, that's rigged.
I went to Hoyt's. It's like 5 minute drive, 2 minute drive. So I was like, I saw it like but I'll do you one better.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
jealous.
Ultra Ball. Hold on.
That's a great ball, not an Ultra Ball. Look at here comes the inner Professor Oak now.
Yeah. Like, I've got all these. So there's a setup that I'm going to be doing and I'm planning at the moment is I'm actually planning. Yes, okay, I'm going. We're past the wrestling talk, okay?
This is just normal rambling now.
Yeah, so I'm just going to end it here. So the reason why they're like that is because I am planning to move rooms to next door, which is my bedroom. This is my studio. Even though I've got a bed here, I usually just sleep there. But I'm planning to have a bookcase in the background. I'm going to have like my pops, some wrestling stuff, my Pokemon figurines, my Pokemon plush. I'm looking at getting more Pokemon plushes just because of that. My old consoles, wrestling shirts.
Yep.
NXT title. I'm not going into this, but yeah, you may see something in the future. I might have spoken Mad Dog. But anyways, I think that's going to end it there. I think we can talk a bit off air about a few things, but otherwise this could go on for longer. And
hey, we could ramble about a lot of those things for like easily a good half hour and that.
Oh, easily, but I think we can do that off air. But yeah, thank you so much. Definitely gonna have to get you on again.
Yeah, thanks for having
us. For the
us.
wrestling experience, it's been great. Yeah, this is just something that I'm gonna do every now and then.
Are you thinking about doing one for Double or Nothing, or just more like maybe
not doing
a post?
anything? I can't do anything for Double or Nothing. But it's just going to be, yeah. I think we discussed it briefly in here. There's going to be something on it, maybe in one of my streams next week if I get to stream next week. But yeah, Double or Nothing is following Saturday week. Money in the Bank is this Sunday, or Monday our time.
Yeah. Actually, am I working Monday? I better double check that.
Well, on that note, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching the wrestling experience. If you have gone this far, thank you.
Cheers, everybody.